Hi, Rupert.
Hi.
Let's see if I can formulate the question. I think there's an urge more now to just sit and contemplate more. And I think you point several times to, we spoke about it, I think, in the dinner the other day, about being more interested in the unchanging space rather than whatever's appearing in front of it. And sometimes there seems to be this question whether there's effort involved, whether that's a problem at all. And, you know, if you have any just recommendations in general, I mean, is it just sitting in silent? You know, one practice that another teacher that I follow says is just, you know, empty yourself out of all concepts and just stay in that space, which I like. But then I feel there's also something different about contemplating, which I'm not sure if I've done, honestly, enough.
For most people, simply abiding as awareness, paying no attention to thoughts, feelings, sensations and perceptions is not enough. For most people, some kind of investigation of our experience is necessary. So I do recommend being knowingly the presence of consciousness, knowing yourself as the open, empty space of awareness in which all experience appears, and not giving attention to the objects of your experience, thoughts, feelings, sensations and perceptions. That establishes you in the peace of your true nature. But it's not either or. It's not, should we do that, or should we take a more investigative approach? Do both. Because if you don't take this investigative approach, your mind will sooner or later raise objections. Your mind will start questioning your experience. And you need to meet, instead of just crushing those questions and saying, oh, don't try to think about this. The mind can never understand reality. All those questions should be addressed and explored. And then the mind will come to rest if you take those questions all the way to understanding. And then even more important than exploring the beliefs in the mind is the necessity to explore feelings in the body. Because if your mind doesn't raise objections, your feelings certainly will. Your suffering will sooner or later make itself felt in your experience and will demand that you pay attention to it. So I recommend, on a daily basis, spending time just abiding as awareness.
And when you say abiding as awareness,
Just,
what do you mean?
I mean, being knowingly the presence of awareness in which all your experience appears and with which it is known.
The question begs again, what does that mean?
What does that mean? Okay.
As a practice, I mean, that if I hear it correct, because, okay, that is my experience, but then maybe, you know, something comes up and as an appearance, whether a thought or...
Well, normally during the day, your attention is directed towards some kind of object. Either your thoughts, your feelings, your sensations or perceptions. At the moment, your attention is directed towards the content of this conversation. Yeah. And if you look during the day, your attention is always directed towards an object. By an object, I mean any objective experience, thoughts, feelings, sensations and perceptions. And most people's attention is directed only towards objects, one object after another. That's the content of most people's lives. So the first thing we do here is recognize the subject of experience. Oh, I am the one that knows or is aware of these objects. In other words, we notice the subject of experience. And having noticed it, we stand as that. It's like...
I guess I'm looking for some, because I do that a lot, or it comes up naturally a lot during the day, whatever activity I'm doing. And there's some, even though that's not the self, there is some feeling coming with it, or some loose softening of the eyes. I don't know how to describe it.
Yes, it's a softening or a relaxation of the focus of attention from objects. We don't have to get rid of the objects. You don't have to get rid of your thoughts or feelings. It's just you're no longer exclusively fascinated by them. It's like when you're watching a movie, instead of being completely absorbed in the drama of the movie, you lose interest in the movie. What happens when you lose interest in the movie? You suddenly notice the screen. Before, you were so involved in the movie that you forgot it was a screen. You thought it's a real love story.
So your attention basically is split.
Well, it's a rather limited metaphor. You are the screen. It's a magical screen, remember. It's a screen that is watching the movie that is playing on it. You are the screen of awareness upon which all your experience is playing. But the screen of awareness, in most cases, loses itself in the movie that is playing on it. All your thoughts, feelings, sensations, and perceptions are playing on the screen of awareness. Yes? And most of us are so absorbed in the content of thoughts, feelings, sensations, and perceptions that we forget that we are the colorless screen. So when I say be knowingly the open, empty presence of awareness, I mean remember yourself. Remember who you are. Stand as the colorless screen. Let the drama of the movie flow through you. And realize, not just intellectually, but experientially, realize experientially that the screen is always left untouched by the drama. The movie never stains the screen. The screen is always in the same pristine state. So the screen is you awareness, the one upon whom all experience is playing, or you could say within whom all experience is appearing. When we say within whom, instead of using the screen metaphor, we use the space metaphor. Awareness is like a vast, open, empty space in which thoughts, feelings, sensations, and perceptions appear. So know yourself as that space and simply be that. Cease being fascinated in the objective content of experience.
So the experience right now seems to sort of oscillate during the day between that.
Yes. I'm not saying spend all your time 24/7 giving attention to the subject of experience. There's a place for giving the objects of experience your attention. For instance, now, we are not resting the mind in awareness. We are directing the mind towards the content of our conversation. That's fine. There are many times during the day where your attention is required to be focused on objects. But when it's not required, for one reason or another, to be focused on objects, get used to resting your mind in awareness. So and part of your engagement with objective experience is the exploration of your experience, the investigation of your beliefs, and the exploration of your feelings. And I would encourage you to not only abide knowingly as awareness, but also to explore your beliefs, investigate your beliefs, and explore your feelings. Because it is in this investigation that our beliefs and feelings are gradually, first of all, they are exposed, and then they are gradually aligned with this understanding. And subsequently our activities and relationships become an expression of this understanding.
And when you say explore your feelings,
the yoga meditations that we do in the morning would be
the approach.
It's not an intellectual exploration of feelings.
It's not the neti kind of like who is feeling.
No, not at all. The neti approach, I'm not this, that is used to establish I am not my thoughts, I'm not my feelings, I'm not my sensations, I'm not my perceptions. I am the self-aware screen of awareness. So the neti-neti process is used for that, but it's not used for the exploration. For instance, now we're not using the neti-neti process. We are exploring our beliefs. And in our morning meditations, particularly these last few days, the yoga meditations are an exploration of our feelings and sensations. In other words, the neti-neti process, I'm not this, I'm not this, I'm not this, is what I call the inward-facing path, the path in which we turn away from objective experience. But that's only half the path. It's often neglected in the Vedantic tradition, and it's given more prominence in the Tantric tradition. So the second half of the path, what we do in the morning, these last few mornings, the yoga meditations, is when we turn our attention back towards the experience of the body and the world, and we explore it in a way that is consistent with our new understanding. So I would do both. Take both the inward-facing path, I'm not this, I'm not this, I'm not this, I'm the self-aware screen of awareness, and rest as that, make your home as that. When you say I, instead of thinking I am a cluster of thoughts and feelings, get used to feeling, thinking and feeling that what I essentially am is the transparent screen of awareness, or the empty space of awareness. That's the inward-facing path. And then also explore beliefs, such as we do in our conversations in the evenings, and explore feelings and perceptions in the way we do in our morning meditations. Do both. Take both paths, the inward-facing path and the outward-facing path.